Hello, Nari McDiarmid for miningnews.net, and I'd like to welcome Paul Bibby, Managing Director of Akora Resources. And Paul, for anyone new to the company, how do you best describe Akora?
Akora has iron ore tenements in Madagascar. Our flagship project is called Bekisopa. We're blessed that we have both direct ship iron ore for the initial years of the project, which will generate cash, and then the fresh rock is magnetite, which upgrades to a very high grade, clean concentrate for the green steel future.
So, can we take a closer look at Bekisopa? You've mentioned the high grade nature of the deposit. What are some of the other features?
Akora listed 3 years ago. The first two drilling campaigns, we identified a 200 million tonne maiden resource. The exploration potential at Bekisopa on the 6 kilometre strike is identified as being between 500 and 1 billion tonnes. So we've only drilled a small amount of the resource. Since then, we've done product trials, further infill drilling campaigns, which has led to a scoping study being published late last year. That scoping study identifies a 55 million tonne startup capital cost, a 42 US dollar per tonne C1 cost, a high margin, high NPV, very economical, viable project, which generates some $270 million from the first 4 to 5 years of mining of the weathered zone direct ship ore at Bekisopa.
Now, I understand that scoping studies generated a bit of interest, Paul. I know you recently announced to the ASX you've started a strategic investor process. So, what's your focus in 2024?
Well, the focus for 2024 at the project level is to increase the mine life, so to add years to the scoping study to improve the NPV, the IRR, etc., all of those good numbers. And we've also embarked on the pre-feasibility study. The pre-feasibility study is very much going to focus on the logistics, the road transport from mine site to port, and then the port logistics for loading vessels to market. The mining and processing, as I said, is relatively straightforward. So the PFS has started, and there is the main focus there. We have opened up the data room because when we put out the scoping study, we had very immediate inquiries from significant parties in the commodities world. And as a result, we've now got 4 and potentially 5 people this week in the data room looking at the project with the potential of becoming an investor of one shape or the other. So it's all very open in terms of how we progress, but we're looking to work with some parties that like the project and can see what the future brings.
Well, in terms of driving Akora's progress, Paul, who's behind the company? What would you like people to understand about the leadership team?
We're very, very fortunate to have a new chairman. Graham Hunt joined on the 1st of February this year. Graham's background is BHP, started in the steelworks making sinter for the blast furnace, and then had 5 years as the managing director or president of BHP's iron ore projects in the Pilbara. So he understands everything from exploration, mining, project development, shipping logistics, and also has some wonderful contacts in the iron ore world. So we're quite fortunate to get a man of that significant career and credibility as our chairman. I've also appointed a general manager development this year, Jason Whittle. Jason is looking after the pre-feasibility study, and he has extensive experience in operations, but also studies in the last 10 years of his career. So we've expanded our team as we move from being an explorer into a developer. So we've got a stronger, very focused team to progress the project at Bekisopa.
Well, there's a lot happening, Paul. In a nutshell, finally, what would you like investors to hear?
So we've got a project that's proven to be economically viable. We can build years into that to improve the economics. The first years generating significant cash from conventional direct ship lump and fines iron ore, and then move into the fresh magnetite rock for a high grade plus 68% iron green steel concentrate. We also have announcements coming up in the coming months on a nearby project called Satrakala, where we expect the magnetic anomaly to be some 10 kilometres long, so 60% greater than what we have at Bekisopa. So we're potentially going to have 2 project areas, high quality iron ore for the steel industry.
Big year ahead, Paul. Thank you very much for your time today.
No, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to have a chat.